Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You're watching Casino is the Name, and in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about how to book loads for your trucking company, how to dispatch loads, book loads, whatever, okay? And this actually just came up in conversation today. I was speaking to somebody who has their, they have a dump truck, and they were looking at getting into dispatching, or, you know, maybe if they started another, like get another, like a semi truck and started to run a semi truck, they were wondering what it would be like if they got into like running their own loads and kind of how that works. And I am uniquely qualified to answer that question because I had my own trucking authority. So we had got into this detailed conversation, and I was like, man, this would be a great video because I haven't done one of these in a while. But let's talk about how I got into booking my own loads, all right? So initially I started out, you know, just like anybody else. Because like, could you start a dispatching company? Absolutely. The thing is, you'll need to find clients who would be needing your services on the dispatching side, right? Like you'll need to find trucking companies that were looking for dispatch. So I guess that it seems like there will be more of the marketing side on your end. Like, how do you find these companies to who are looking for dispatching? And I'm sure there's plenty. I'm sure there's plenty because when I got started, I was looking for dispatching, right? Before I understood I could do it myself or even really understood trucking, it was just kind of like, hey, I need somebody to find me some loads, or how do I find loads? And I linked up with a dispatcher, and the dispatcher sent me loads, right? And so we did that for a while, but then my driver had some complaints with the dispatch. They were saying like, you know, the dispatch service has us going way out here for several hours before we can find something to pick up in order to go right back to where we came from or to another area. It was too much deadhead. And so then it was like, well, just stay here overnight and we'll look and see what we can find, kind of thing. And we end up like not getting like a load, you know, during like a certain part of the day. And I just end up kind of like, man, let me just see what this is about. Like, I'm looking for loads because the dispatch telling me they don't really have anything right now. They're working on something. And I just started looking at load boards, trying to get a better understanding of like where loads even come from. And I end up booking some loads, right? So our thing was like, we hate to deadhead anywhere. So we always try to find something hidden in a certain direction that we need to go to in order to pick something else up. That's trucking, right? And so I started to book loads and become kind of successful. And then my dispatch service, you know, were even surprised, like, oh, that's a good load, or, you know, whatever. And we got something too. And then we found out what it is, and it wasn't like really appealing. I'm not sure if they were like dedicated or using one particular load board, or they were locked into a certain service. I don't know, but I wasn't, and I was just finding loads somewhere everywhere. And it was actually pretty powerful just knowing that I could say, hey, you know, to my driver, hey, where you want to go? He could say, I want to go to Virginia. I want to see Virginia. And I could say, cool. And I could book him loads to Virginia. Now, I had to do a lot of carrier packets and stuff like that, but once I understood where loads were and stuff like that, it wasn't difficult at all to find loads. It was extremely easy. Once you're in the official system, you know, FMCSA and everything, you show up to all these companies as a company who's ready to go. And, you know, you got to submit your carrier packet or whatever, and that would be like, you know, your W-9s and all of your information with your insurance stuff. Like, you got to make them a beneficiary or whatever it's called, certificate holder. You got to make a certificate holder during, you know, during the time that you running for them. You know, your MC number, your DOT number, they research it, I guess, on the FMCSA site and find out if you're in good standing, if you have the right kind of insurance, if, you know, whatever equipment you're running, it's all in there. So, you know, once you're in the real system, it's not difficult to get loads. It's literally like, hey, is this load still available? Okay, what's the rate? Can you do any better on the rate? You know, that's a question you might want to ask. Can you do any better on this rate? Because I want to go that way, but it's a little shy of where I need it to be. And the broker or dispatcher can say, well, not the dispatcher, but the broker can say, okay, yeah, I can, you know, maybe throw a couple dollars on it. And sometimes they're like, nah, man, I'm tapped. That's it. That's all we got. And so it's like, okay, cool. So take it or leave it, right? And then you say, yeah, I want to take it. And then they say, okay, what's your information? You tell them. They're like, okay, bet. I'm gonna send this over to you, but you got to send me your carrier packet. So they, you know, kind of remove it out of the system. So when other people call about it, it's already gone. But it's plenty of opportunity. It was, at least when I was out there. And so yeah, but that's basically how simple it is. It's really, really simple. And when you start dispatching for yourself, or maybe you just become a dispatcher and you kind of understand what you need to do. Yeah, you're gonna be sending some carrier packets in. You're gonna definitely be doing that. But you have a lot of control as to, if my driver said he wanted to go to Texas, boom, I can find something taking you to Texas, or we're gonna get you to Texas this week, or whatever. And so it wasn't difficult at all. So, you know, he want to go to Miami, cool, boom, I'm gonna send you down to Miami. And then people say it's really hard to get up out of Miami. So I don't, from what I learned about trucking or dispatching, running my own authority, what I learned about that was we would use cars as gas, right? So if we needed to get back up out of Miami, then we just gonna pick up some cars and start heading back up, because there's always cars moving. Cars don't never stop. They be blown up cars, they still moving. Somebody want the parts from a car that caught on fire. Somebody want the parts of a car that got into a tow, like a accident that knocked every piece of the bumper off and the side and everything. People still want them. So they're constantly moving for like $200-$300 for a couple miles. So depending on how far you needed to go, you know, you would maybe pick up cars in Miami and drop them off in Tampa, pick up some cars in Tampa, drop them off in Orlando, pick up some cars in Orlando, drop them off in Jacksonville, pick up some cars in Jacksonville, and until you get back to Atlanta. Do whatever you got to do, but you can definitely get up out of there. It's not how people say it is. Now, if you are trying to get out of there, you got a semi-truck, it might be different, but even semi-trucks have cars on them. So I don't know, it depends on your equipment, depends on what you're doing, but I never had a problem really getting up out of there. Anyway, I just want to come on here and share that. Right now you're watching Casino Is the Name, and I apologize for this loud little small car that the insurance has me in until they fix my real car, okay? Anyway, right now you're watching Casino Is the Name. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we out. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name.